story out today. Trevor Lawrence says he may come back to school. I listened to the tape. He doesn't really say that. He does intimate he doesn't have an answer yet. He will go pro, and he will end up, I imagine, with the New York Jets. I do think it's interesting, though, that he does not need the New York Jets. And let me just say this. Actors, the world changes, no longer need to go on Jimmy Kimmel or Stephen Colbert. It's called social media. Kim Kardashian told David Letterman, I have 137 million Instagram followers. Why would I go on a late-night show? The quarterbacks in the NFL, Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, and Aaron Rodgers on the most commercials play in Green Bay, Kansas City, and Cleveland. You don't need New York for stardom in 2020. What about the Yankees? That's not a New York thing. If it was, you'd have to go to the Mets. That's a great brand thing with the Yankees. The NFL didn't have Los Angeles for over 2 decades and grew substantially. Wall Street used to be where the rich cats hung out. They made movies about it. Now Silicon Valley could buy and sell Wall Street and has major influence. New York's a great city, and I love it. There's nothing like it in terms of energy and fun when it's not freezing. But you don't need New York as an athlete. Trevor Lawrence has the leverage, not a city. Brock Heward's my friend. He's been working at Fox Sports now for a little over a year. We put him on NFL games now in which he is unbelievable. One of the smartest guys that does football analysis work for any network. He's now ours, and we love that. Brock Heward, NFL player for 6 years, joining me. Back up to Peyton Manning with the Colts, which I don't think I've ever said that. I think I knew that, but I just saw that in a piece of paper. So let me ask you this. You, as a former Seattle guy, we're both Seattle guys. I've been saying this, that Russell Wilson feels like a life preserver sometimes on a sinking roster. They got him Carlos Dunlap this morning. I think that's big. I like Pete Carroll, and I like the GM John Snyder. But I watch Monday, and I say to myself, it's too Russell Wilson-centric. Is that, what, as a former NFL quarterback, do you see some of that?
Well, you say that, Colin, because the Seahawks are dead last on defense. I'll say that again. The Seahawks are dead last and giving up over 50 yards more than the second worst defense in the league that I've called twice, and that is the Atlanta Falcons. So you can have a middle-of-the-pack defense, but you also need a defense. At least they're giving them takeaways, Colin. That is one thing they are doing. They are giving him some extra possessions. But that defense did not hit Kyler Murray one time. They did not hit Kyler Murray one time on Sunday night. That can't happen. And this is a defense, let's remember, that Pete Carroll continues to have invested in. Draft capital, Jamal Adams, 2 future first-round picks. Like, this is a group defensively that they have committed to that should not be this bad. So, yes, there is too much on Russ. If he's got to throw it 40 or 50 times, and the people love it because he's cooking all over the place, but you're not going to win a world championship. He'll have the biggest numbers he'll ever had. He may have the most individual glory, but to win a title, to win that division, they have to be more balanced as a football team.
There's a rumor out today, Zach Ertz to the Packers potentially. They've made calls. We've heard rumors about Amari Cooper to the Green Bay Packers. What I think sometimes fans forget, you can bring certain players on, like a corner, and they can pick up a system very quickly. But quarterbacks, there's a reason in the summer they invite their receivers and tight ends out to their town because it's all about timing. How long would it take Aaron Rodgers and a veteran Zach Ertz or Amari Cooper that you literally think that Aaron would throw them open, would trust them, could know they would be in a spot? Like, I think fans sometimes think, so you throw the football around. Quarterback, receiver, that is a relationship. Yeah. How long does it take to build?
Yeah, and to further that point, I think a little bit, Colin, you're not going to Clemson where you've got like 4 plays, right? And you run 2 formations and you're up tempo. You're going in Green Bay to probably the most complex offense in the NFL, to probably the most demanding quarterback when it comes to that precision and timing you're talking about. What they have done, I had them twice earlier this year, and the amount of time they spent this offseason, Colin, trying to eliminate vowels in their call, right? So they can make that call in enough time from head coach to quarterback in the huddle and still get to the line of scrimmage and do all their check with me. So it is a very complex system too. Now, I will say this, you're not going there to be the savior. You're not going there to be the one. Devontae Adams is the one. So you're going there to be the 2, or for Zach Ertz, you're going there to really complement Mercedes Lewis, the tight end. So you're not going there having to just be the one to hit number 4 in the lineup. You're going there to hit 5 or 6 in the lineup. And also, if they make that move, I think Aaron Rodgers be a little bit more patient than he would be with some of the young players they've tried to develop. That Allen Lazard injury was a big one because he was coming. Aaron was really liking him. He was confident that he could be there too. So I think it would be a challenge. It'd be very difficult to any young player that does not have a depth of football background. But Amari Cooper, Zach Ertz, have played in systems, played in multiple systems. They could do it. But I guarantee you that quarterback will be pretty demanding of exactly where they need to be.
6 years in the NFL. He's calling NFL games for us, called the Falcons-Lions last week. We know the teams that need a quarterback, and we know the teams that have a great quarterback. Atlanta's fascinating. You start looking at Matt Ryan. He's older. I do believe as the game changes, you can't move him around much in the pocket. He's good enough for some. I don't know if the new coach and GM in Atlanta, and you just watched his game, is Matt Ryan somebody a new coach should say, all right, I'll take 4 years of Matt Ryan, or is it time to draft the Justin Fields, develop for a year, and move on? What do you see?
Yeah, 4 years, that's not going to happen. Now, 2 years is a different conversation. And Colin, his finances of his contract are going to make it very difficult on whoever that next GM or head coach is to say, trade him, move him, cut him. That's going to be financially so irresponsible. So more than likely, you're going to have him for 2 years. And I think 2 years in the right system, with the right supporting cast, they've done some good things on offense. But as I mentioned to you earlier, they were the second worst defense only to the Seahawks. Can't rush the passer, not taking the ball away. Some challenges on that side. So you're going to have Matt Ryan, whoever that GM or head coach, in my opinion, you're going to have Matt Ryan for the next couple of years because that contract is just so financially difficult to move if you wanted to move off of him.
Do you think there's a market for Cam Newton? I did after the Seattle game. Then I came to terms with, oh, wait, everybody scores on Seattle. And then I looked this morning and I'm like, if I get 2 more bad showings, and it's not all Cam's fault, it's the slowest receiving core in the league, I wonder what the market is for Cam. What say you?
Yeah, it depends, Colin, on what kind of tape he continues to put forward throwing the football. What they did the first couple of weeks was awesome. The league hadn't really seen it, didn't make many adjustments to it. He's running all over Miami. He's running all over Seattle. But we know that's not sustainable, especially a player at his age and his wear and tear on those tires. So can he throw the ball effectively enough? The last couple of weeks, that's been a definitive no. That's coming off no practice time. That's coming off, as you said, a beat-up receiver crew. Edelman is just Band-Aids right now. So it's going to be a challenging environment for him. But it will, to me, Colin, be all about how efficient, how accurate. Can he anticipate? I'm not seeing that. I haven't seen that the last couple of weeks. You're going to give him a grace period. It's all new. There's less practice. There's not immense talent outside. But it will ultimately come down to how well he can throw it. And more than likely, Colin, how much Bill Belichick believes in him. Because they don't have another answer. They're not going to draft 1 or 2. They're not going to get Trevor or Justin. So it really comes down to, I think, how much does Bill believe in him to extend him long term.
6 years in the NFL, a Fox NFL analyst, does a tremendous job. Brock Heward, love having you on the show, man. Thanks for coming by.
Always a blast, Colin. Anytime, bud.
You bet, Brock Heward. By the way, a little inside the rope is he was at the other place, and I went for 1.5 years to 2 years. I went to our management, and I said, he's a star on Seattle radio. The guy knows more football. You can put him on college or pro. We've moved him on pro. He's terrific. He really is one of the most knowledgeable guys. I've learned so much from him about football, Brock Heward. Really, really bright guy. His family in the state of Washington it's the Manning family in the state of Washington. The Hewards all end up playing at Washington or going on to, very prolific college careers. Gentlemen, stop phoning in your underwear. Get Tommy John, best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee. Save 15% right now. TommyJohn.com/HERD. It's great to have you in. We call this now Winner's Town. If the Rams can win the Super Bowl. Now, they need somebody to knock out Tampa.
It's possible.
Well, once you take out Tampa, they match up with everybody else fine.
They've already been there. Let's not forget.
They got the coach, despite what everybody says. They got a quarterback that's already been there. They got the best defensive lineman in football, a top 5 corner, and a great receiving corps. There's not a lot They're not rebuilding their lines. It's a real football team. Wouldn't that be something? Hour 3 coming up.